Welcome to the channel. I'm Tony the Technician, and today we're going to be going into my long nose pliers. I have 6 to 8 pairs. I can't remember for sure. But we're going to be going over kind of what long nose pliers consist of and the different options that are available. I'll share the specs, features, and pricing with you guys. They'll also be linked down in the description just in case you guys are interested in any of them. As far as prices, I'm going to kind of give a range because depending on where you purchase them from, the price is going to vary. Other than that, I will also have 2 additional links down in the description that are called Tools and Tools Continued. If you click on either one of those links, it's going to take you to a long list of tools that I've went over in the past or other tools that I suggest. So that's all there for you guys. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about any of these, please feel free to drop a comment down below. I'll also be going over which ones I use most to least most and kind of why. So I really hope you guys enjoy this video. If you guys do, please make sure to smash that thumbs up. Leave a comment down below of your guys' favorite long nose pliers and the style that you use most. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. Let's get into this. So here we're looking at my long nose pliers. I do have a bunch of other long reach long nose pliers, but I'm gonna save those for another video because we already have 8 pairs to go over. I'm not going to go into huge detail on them, but I'll give you a quick look, their features, my thoughts, a baseline for the price, and kind of my thoughts. Stay tuned for another video for the long reach ones if you guys are interested. I'll also have basically a video coming on each category of pliers that I own, kind of sharing my thoughts with you guys. So over here we start with the most used going to the least used. And that's just because of kind of what I do. So I do a lot of mobile work. So I have a cheaper set and a nicer set with an angle. And so let's go ahead and get into it. The first pair over here is the Gearwrench. And this is their newer, stuff with the new color and all of that. I have a full set of these. And while like the larger adjustable pliers are kind of a bulkier head, I don't really use them. These, the diagonal side cutters, I use pretty often. These and the diagonal side cutters I use pretty often. These are almost a daily use, probably four days a week at least. So looking at these, they do have that orange and black handle, and then you have a black oxide kind of finish over here and on some parts to prevent rusting. There you can see that newer Gearwrench logo. Then you have a cutter, an open jaw, and then in here you have your flat jaw towards the back and your cross-hatch teeth. So I really like the cross-hatching. That's why I keep this in my work vehicle. I like the open jaw. So it has a lot of features that can be really handy. So where you have the cutter on the back side, you also have a larger open jaw for grabbing larger fasteners. An open jaw with finer teeth for grabbing certain fasteners as well. And honestly, they've held up really well and they're smooth. Can't complain about them, especially for the price. This Gearwrench set ranges between $14 and $23. Definitely a good buy at around $14. At $23, you might as well start looking at buying a set of the Gearwrench ones, even though some of those larger ones I don't really care for just because there's a lot of material. But like I said, these and the diagonal side cutters have been really good for daily use so far, and I've been using them maybe a year and a half, maybe more. Next up is the Knipex angled. Before we move on, there's the part number, but I will also have all of these linked down in the description for you guys. And then these I also keep in my work vehicle because I like to have an angled set. It also allows me to kind of use that bend as a pivot point if I'm grabbing like a clip, so that can be really handy. This doesn't have any open jaw feature or anything like that. It's just straight teeth, the flat straight teeth all the way around the bend to about right here. And then you have about 1 inch of flat jaw before getting to the cutter, and the cutter is very, very good. Obviously, if you've ever used Knipex, you know how nice these pliers are. I have a lot of Knipex pliers and haven't been disappointed by any of them yet. There's the part number, and both of these just have the standard rubber dipped handles, and I haven't had any issues with any of the rubber turning or slipping off or anything like that. Part number for this set is 26-200, and if you look that up, you're also going to find this as well, which is the 2611 200. So if you just look them up, you can find both of these. As far as this angled set, you're looking at about $25 to $36. But once again, a lot of these pliers you can save money overall by buying them in a set. Here's the straight pair. I keep these at home. If these ever get damaged or anything, the Channellock will probably be my next set, just because it has an open jaw. I just like to have that feature just in case. But like I said, the part number is still the same up here as the previous pair. Same rubber dipped handles, the black coating to prevent rust down here, but then the rest is just polished, nice and clean, what I expect from Knipex. And they've held up very, very well. But once again, these are just used at home. The straight pair actually ranges between 28 and 35, and so a little bit more expensive, which is weird than the angled set. Roughly, you'll find them sitting at the same price. Here are the Channellocks. Channellock has a few different variations of this. One thing I did notice when I purchased these is the Channellock has quite a different style of nose to it. So where a lot of my other long nose pliers kind of have a taper all the way down, the Channellock tends to stay pretty thick, and then about an inch from the end is where it really starts to taper. So kind of a bigger design here. The teeth on the inside are a little bit larger than some of the other pair that I have. Then you have your flat jaw and open jaw for grabbing fasteners, and then your cutter. And I believe at the top side of these, I don't know how well that's picking up, there's a small stripping portion up here at the front of the cutter. These I haven't used all that much, just because I have these here at home and I primarily grab my Knipex, but the times that I have used these, I haven't been disappointed. And I own a lot of Channellock, and for the price and being made in the USA, they're dang good tools. As I forgot to mention, I believe Taiwan, Germany, USA, and the Channellock, this is the Echo 318, and those are going to range $15 to $28. But once again, Channellock, you can get really good deals when you buy them in sets. Next up, we're looking at something a little bit different here. We are looking at a set of Vampire Tools, or Vamp pliers, and I've owned these for many years. And while these are screw extraction pliers, as you can see here, they have a little bit of different teeth there than your normal long nose pliers. These can still be used. All of the Vampire tools can still be used as their intended plier design purposes. Like, this is the long nose. They also have multi-purpose and slip joints and many different styles of pliers. You can still use them as normal pliers. They just have the additional feature of screw extraction. But I figure with the amount of long nose pliers, I can simply just keep these for screw extraction, just to prevent those teeth from wearing out. So you have your horizontal teeth there, and then you have vertical teeth. And the only downside to this is a lot of the times people will use like lineman pliers and long nose pliers to actually grab wires and stuff down in areas. And sometimes if you're really trying to tug on a wire, it makes it awkward if that wire falls into that tooth area. It doesn't like do any more damage really than another set, but you may slip on it depending on the size of the wire just because of that tooth. But for screw extraction, and honestly, the teeth on this are also very aggressive, so some nice biting teeth. And the cutters, I haven't used all that much on these, but they are made in Japan. Very, very clean pliers. All of my tools that I own from Japan are extremely high quality, extremely high finishes, great attention to detail and quality control. And they actually have a T-shaped handle inside of this rubber, which this rubber is extremely soft. I can't remember the actual material here, but it is
more of a grippier, softer rubber than what you have here on a lot of your other style pliers. So I really like these, but once again, I don't use them as my standard slip joints. I try to save those for screw extraction purposes where I'm working in tight areas. These Vamp pliers are going to cost $33 to $37, so a little bit higher than the others. Kind of in line with the Knipex if you find these on the higher end price side. If you want to save some money, honestly, go with Engineer. Vampire Tools is just like the USA warehouse of Engineer pliers. These are made by Engineer. If you look at the handle here, it does state Engineer. Vampire Tools is just kind of the company here that takes care of all of the pliers being sold. And while the Vampire Tools is more expensive, it does come with a warranty, but it's not that long. I want to say 3 years, maybe. Don't quote me on that. It's not like a lifetime warranty because that screw extraction does kind of make it a wearable item if you want to think about it that way. But the Engineer brand, it's going to have green handles, and they have all the same pliers that Vampire Tools does. So you'll get the same set but with the green handles, and it doesn't come with a warranty. But the Engineer price for this set is $21 to $26 instead of $33 to $37. So it's $10 less than the Vampire Tools one, and the price differences will range depending on the set of pliers that you're looking at, but it's usually $5 to $15 cheaper to go with the Engineer one than the Vampire ones. Next up, we're looking at the Fujiya, and these I don't use all that often just because they're a little bit smaller set and they're multi-purpose, but I always enjoy having a smaller set around, so that's why I have a couple of them. These are made in Japan. A lot of the Fujiya stuff is made in Japan, and I really enjoy Fujiya, but the con being that Fujiya pliers or tools in general, you have to make sure that they're the Japan ones. They do have certain tools made in other countries, but their Japan stuff is very high-end quality, but their prices fluctuate a lot. They're constantly at different prices. Sometimes you can get these at extremely low prices, and then sometimes they're ridiculously high. So if you ever see a set that you just think are priced way too high, even though you want them, just give it a little while. Hopefully you'll find them at a better price. There you can see the fit and finish. Once again, high quality control, attention to detail. The fit and finish is just phenomenal. The handles are very comfortable. They're not the same material. They kind of fall in between the feeling of the Vampire soft grippy rubber and just the dipped handles. And these were actually spring loaded when I got them, and I removed the spring. These are a multi-purpose, lots of different features here. So you have extremely fine teeth up in the end, fine teeth in the open jaw right there at the front, and then here is actually a splitter for splitting like speaker wire, or that style of wire. Then you have a small crimper, and then in the cutter in the center you actually have a wire stripper for small wires as well. That can be a pro and a con. It's nice to have the wire stripper, but it being right in the middle, that's normally where I do my cutting at, so that's kind of gotten annoying, and I've had to get used to throwing the wire at the back or the front of the cutting portion, because the first few times I kept tossing it right in the middle of the cutter going to cut, and I just end up stripping a portion of the wire or not, really doing anything. So that's just something to get used to, but it is really nice having this multi-purpose set. And this one is around $20, so I think $20 for this is a very good price. Looking at the yellow set, you do have a little bit different handle design here. Both of these are Fujiya. This one has a dipped handle, but it has like I don't know how well the camera's picking that up. It's got like a stone grit texture on the outside just for grip. And then this is just going to be the kind of base version of this without a lot of the features. And Fujiya has many different styles of pliers and options. Very fine teeth, then your flat jaw and a cutter. And these, I just honestly, even though they're absolutely fantastic and extremely high quality, I just don't use them all that often because of the other options I have. I'm not sure if I stated, this set here is part number Golf Mike Romeo 150 Sierra. And then this yellow set is 350 Hotel-150. And just keep in mind, sometimes when you type these in on eBay or Amazon or anything like that, a lot of other pliers from them will pop up. It's really, kind of looking for it after that. And oddly enough, like I said, the pricing for Fujiya is extremely weird. So this orange set was $20. This one ranges from $32 to $40, which $40 absolutely not. $32 is really pushing it, even though they are extremely high quality. I expect them to be around this price, so I would probably even hold off. $32 if you're really wanting a set. I would hopefully see these drop into the 20s, in the next month, or just keep an eye out for it, honestly. But Fujiya, if you can find the Japan-made stuff for a good price, absolutely fantastic. Then next up is just, I don't have a price on this. This is just a set of needle nose that came with my Pittsburgh set that I've owned for years. And for minor little jobs, the miniature plier set has been absolutely fantastic. The handles aren't the best, you can kind of feel the mold line, and the finish on the grinding and all of that isn't great. You can see a lot of the imperfections, but honestly, for what I need them for, tight areas, small wiring, things like that, these things are still great. Grabbing pins, things like that, but a lot of the actual needle nose don't have teeth. This set does not. It is just a flat, smooth jaw, and even though it is not perfect finish or anything like that, it has served its purpose just fine. And as you can tell, I don't really need to buy any more, so if this serves its purpose for what I need it to, I'm perfectly happy with it. But you can get, I think it's a 6 or 8 piece set, miniature pliers set, for extremely cheap at Harbor Freight. Now, a lot of people, honestly, I grew up calling these needle nose pliers, and I know if I did that, some people out there would absolutely lose their minds. Long nose pliers is basically a broad spectrum of a certain type of pliers. So I just call them long nose pliers in my videos, because inside of the long nose pliers category, you do have things like needle nose. And then you have many, many different styles, like your angled. And then here you have more of a square cut. And then you have, as you can see here, all of these long nose pliers have very different designs and shapes, as you can see there. So a lot of differences there. But just going over some of the different names that you may come across. Obviously, your needle nose, you have flat nose, you have angled, you have flat round, chain nose, round. I mean, there's a lot that fall into the actual long nose pliers category. But I grew up calling these needle nose, even though they're not technically needle nose. That's just what I called them. But I just wanted to quickly go over some of the different ones, and the ones that I have, kind of my thoughts on them, the ones I use most to least, and not because they're any worse. It's just because this is what I need most often. And then I like to have a couple good sets at home. And even though these are fantastic, they're just something that I don't use as often, not due to quality. And these, they've served their purpose. So I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to drop a comment down below. If you guys have a favorite set, please let me know your guys' thoughts. If you guys don't have one of these, but you have a favorite set of long nose pliers, please feel free to drop it down in the comments. If you guys own one of these, please let me know which one is your favorite. Really hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, please make sure to smash that thumbs up. Leave a comment down below of your guys' thoughts. And as always, subscribe if you're not a subscriber. See you guys next time.